It'll be 1 to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Bob Parker's NASCAR scene for General Winfield. With Gene Haas being in jail for tax fraud and his company being involved with this team, was that an issue at all in deciding to do this sponsorship? And if it was, what allowed you to overcome any issues you had?
Clearly, we took that into consideration. But there were things that basically overrode that particular issue. First of all, we're talking about the Stewart Haas racing team. We're talking about a new team and more or less a new beginning. So there is some history back there, but the individual that deals with us, the individual that talks racing, is in fact Tony Stewart. So when you think about our connection with racing, it's all about Tony Stewart, and that's why we ultimately made the decision to go with him. And then when we found out that one of his homeboys from the same state, Ryan, was a part of it, I mean, that was sort of the icing on the cake, and we said, clearly this is a team that we want driving a Chevrolet for us, an American car, and that was the key to our decision. Yeah, there were some challenges, but clearly we stand by our position, and we stand by this team, and we're looking forward to this relationship. We know that this is a winning combination that we have with the two superstars, the two superb drivers that we have now in our corner, and planning the strategy that we can use to win and continue to let Americans know about the opportunities that are out there for them in the United States Army, both as an officer or as an enlisted, because that's what this is all about, giving America an opportunity to learn more about those opportunities, awareness, if you will, and that's what this is all about.
I think to help eliminate some confusion too, Bob, is that Stewart Haas is myself and Haas Automation. It's not Gene Haas. So this race team of Stewart Haas is a partnership between myself and Haas Automation. So there's no confusion there. Hopefully in the future, and everybody understands that it's not owned by Gene. It's Haas Automation and Tony Stewart. But the race team's not owned by Gene Haas. It's actually owned by the company.
David?
In this perilous economic times that we're all beginning to go through here, and you have obviously your timing of starting a big new company and a new race team, perfect timing as usual for you. But obviously the question is, trying to get this ramped up and gearing up. How tough is it out there, and how hard has it been to start? Have you had to kind of go, geez, this is again good timing?
Well, it depends on how you want to look at it. Obviously, from the financial side and from the standpoint of going out and attracting sponsors to come into the sport, probably wasn't the best time. But at the same time, I think for me personally, it's perfect timing. I think this is the shot in the arm that I needed for me personally. And, I think the opportunities and timing of being able to get Ryan on board and to be able to get guys like Darian Grubb and to be able to get sponsors like the U.S. Army and Office Depot and Old Spice on board, that timing is good. A year from now or a year ago, these opportunities may not have been here. So as far as the timing of getting these ingredients in place, when you look at the big picture and you look at the economic picture, it may not be the best case scenario, but as far as timing for all these pieces in particular, it is good timing right now. So if I had to do it all over again, would I pick now? Absolutely, because I really have enjoyed the groups of people that we've already started to assemble, and I wouldn't want to do it any other way.
Brad Gilly, PRN. Questions for Ryan. How involved are you able to be right now with your new team, and at what point will you be able to start actually getting in the cars and doing testing and whatnot?
I guess it's kind of like working two jobs at once, and I've never worked one job in my life. So it's a fine balance between working with the Altel Dodge, those people, that Penske organization, and then separating 2009 and doing, I guess, what you would call homework for next year, for next year's quiz, for next year's big test coming out of the box. And testing wise, I haven't done any tests for Stewart Haas Racing. working on obviously the schedule for 2009 primarily, but also what we can do in the off season. So, getting the people together is the primary focus right now, so that we can, when we test, do it the right way. And I look forward to all of it.
Marty Smith, ESPN. Tony, you have 2 sponsors on your new car. You're going to have 2 on Ryan's. That seems to be the trend, and it's been the trend for a couple of years now. How close is this industry to the single sponsorship becoming obsolete and virtually impossible with how much it's ratcheting up in price to sponsor a car?
Well, I think it depends on which corporations want to be involved, obviously. If you're a corporation that can afford to be a single sponsor on a car for the entire season, and that's what your desire is, obviously those companies will make those decisions. But I think for a lot of companies right now, especially in this economic time, it makes more sense to have partnerships where they can split the car during the season and still get the same exposure. So I think it makes very good sense. I think this is something that obviously we saw it last year with Dale Jr.'s car, and I think it's something we'll see more of in the future.
Any other questions?